Hi flower friends, it's Madonna from Eastside Flower Farm, Los Molinas, California, Zone 9, and it is a beautiful day. It is like 60 degrees, it's wonderful. I'm so happy to get a little bit of sunshine, and with that, I also got my order of bare root roses today from the Rock Garden in Roberta. They just got them in, and I had 35 ordered from that I ordered last fall, and so I just got them in. So I was going to quickly show you how to do them. So if you get bare root, this is what they're going to look like, and they're dormant. There's no leaves on them. Most nurseries, as soon as they get them in, they pot them up. So what I do, this is moonstone, and I believe it's like white with a little pink around the edging. It's really pretty. So I look at this and I immediately go, okay, some of these canes need to be taken off, even though they've already cut them back. But it's not, still not, because remember I had said earlier in a video I want an open center. So right away I'm going to look at this. There's a lot of canes. So the first thing I see is I see this little dead one right here. Do you see that right there? This little dead cane. I cut it off. So then I think I want 3 to 5 canes, and the stems are called canes, to remain. And so right away when I look into the center like this, I know this one needs to come off. This one needs to come off. I'm just cutting them off. And that looks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good ones. This one's got a little bit of damage right here. See what's been rubbed? I'm gonna cut it back because I don't want it to get any kind of disease or insects in there. And I'm gonna actually recut the whole thing just because they're bare root, they've been shipped, and they've been soaking in water. So after I cut the top and I decide that's where I want it, I'm gonna actually cut this one a little bit more so that I have that open center and I have canes basically on either side. Then I'm gonna flip it over and cut the roots. And I'm just gonna chop. It is not gonna hurt the rose. A lot of people are intimidated with roses. Do not be intimidated. It's just a little haircut, because what they're gonna do, they're just gonna keep growing anyway. So remember, when they already pot them up in the nursery and you buy them in a little 1 gallon or 2 gallon pots, they've already cut the roots, so you don't realize how long they were. And it's not gonna hurt them, especially because there's not a lot of growth on the top either. They're pretty balanced. So what I've done is I've dug a hole here, and I don't put anything in the hole with my roses because my soil, I have really good soil. I've composted already. It's really rich. I don't think it needs to have a lot of added stuff. People have grown roses for centuries. They've never added, commercial stuff. So I just plant it. It's dormant. I don't fertilize until I see leaves coming out in the spring, which is probably, 4 to 6 more weeks. So I've dug my hole big enough. So the thing is, here's the rootstock, here's the graft. This is a grafted rose. So the rootstocks, most rootstocks are Dr. Huey on the ones that we have here, the majority of them. And then, like I said, and then this is moonstone on top. So I have always buried mine about an inch under where the graft is, and let it stick up. I think in colder areas they bury the whole thing, like right up to here. They just bury the whole stalk. I don't do that, and I never have. And I believe, anything that I've always studied, in the warmer areas you can go about an inch, bury it all the way down to about an inch. I love the Rosarian Paul Zimmerman. And first of all, he just says, roses are plants too, so you just treat them just like any other plant and don't be afraid of them. And he buries them all regardless, but I don't do that. And I've never had a problem, and I have 400 or something of them. So I've cut the roots, I've cut the top, I've got a hole dug that's wide enough to put it in. Like I said, I'm gonna bury it to about an inch under this. So what I do in my hole is, after I dig it, I do mound it up just a little bit in the center, because what you don't want to do is put it in like this and then there's all this empty space that gets air. So I have trimmed it. I'm going to snug it right down in there. See, I've kind of built this little volcano in the center, and then I'm just going to backfill it. I don't have anything in the hole. Like I said, my soil is great. It's always composted. Whoopsie. Little prickles to get my strings. And I just backfill it with all the dirt. I pack it in there, you know, make sure it's getting packed in there, because like I said, you don't want air pockets in it where it doesn't get the soil, it's not reaching soil. I just pack it in there. I already have my water line because I had something here that I took out. Actually another rose. I do always, because we're so hot, I mulch with cedar chips. And I love the cedar and it breaks down so nicely. So I put it in here. I have the water line. I will redo the label, make sure I label it all, because I remember most of them, but not all of them. You always think you're gonna remember them and you don't, especially if you have 400. So it's that simple. So no fertilizer until you start seeing leaf growth on it. I always come through I do a fish emulsion. I do a foliar spray in the springtime. I do feed my roses though. I don't put a lot of amendments in the soil because like I said, my soil's already good. And I just think people have been growing roses for, you know, like I said, centuries, and they've never had to add all this extra stuff. If you have good soil, I think you're good already, but I do feed them because, you know, they need that extra energy because they're always pumping out beautiful blooms. So it is that simple. So go buy your bare roots right now where they're dormant, trim them on the top, trim out anything that's dead, dying, diseased, or damaged, trim the roots up because it's just gonna grow. And remember your roses, it's the 3-year thing. The first year they sleep because they're just building roots underneath. Second year they creep, so they slowly grow more on top as they're building up roots. And the 3rd year they leap because you've got a healthy root system and it just pops out the top and you get beautiful roses. So go buy your roses. Thanks guys.